All right, here's your full professional voiceover script, written in first person, Karen drama style. I kept it natural American storytelling, 1350, 1600 words, with pacing shifts, anger, sarcasm, self-doubt, fight back, justice, cinematic dialogue, and a sharp ending. Voiceover script. I was standing in my own driveway, keys in my hand, when I heard the words that turned my stomach inside out. That man just stole my car. Call 911. Within minutes, police cruisers blocked my street. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains, and there I was being treated like a criminal for the very car I had poured my life into. And the person screaming, Beverly Lang, our HOA president. A woman who could weaponize a clipboard better than most people could wield a gun. Act 1. The Spark. My name's Ethan Miller, 32 years old. I walked away from a steady aerospace engineering job to follow something that actually made me feel alive. Restoring classic cars. My garage wasn't just a workshop, it was a shrine. The centerpiece, a 1968 Shelby GT500 Eleanor, my dad's unfinished dream. He passed when I was 15, but he left me that car in pieces. Every bolt I tightened, every panel I smoothed, it felt like he was right there beside me, nodding, reminding me not to cut corners. And now, after nearly 2 years, she was finally ready. The chrome caught the afternoon sun, and I swear the engine purred like a living thing. That's when Beverly made her entrance, stilettos stabbing my lawn like she owned the soil, phone glued to her ear like she was calling down divine judgment. Officers, thank God you're here, she said, shoving some paper in their faces. This man has stolen my Kobu. I sold it last week to a client in Nevada. Look, I have the bill of sale. I almost laughed. My car, my father's car. But the cops weren't laughing. One of them asked me for registration. Another started photographing the Shelby like it was a crime scene. And Beverly, she stood there smirking, rattling off specs of the car with the precision of a broker. She even knew about the 428 Cobra jet engine I'd rebuilt, the custom exhaust I welded in just last month. Her confidence rattled me. She wasn't bluffing. She knew my car too well. Sir, the officer said, can you prove this vehicle's been in your possession long-term? I didn't flinch. Dad had been paranoid about theft back in his racing days. Pop the hood, I said. And there it was, etched into the block in his careful script. D. Miller, 1995. Beverly's face shifted from smug to pale. In a second, she stammered, well, maybe there's been some confusion. But before she backed away, she hissed at me, low enough the cops wouldn't hear. You think this is over. You don't know Harold Green. That name landed like a hook in my gut. I didn't know him yet, but I was about to... Act 2. Pressure rising. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw flashing lights, heard Beverly's voice calling me a thief. So I made a choice most people would call crazy. I let the city impound my car, voluntarily. See, Dad had built hidden surprises into that Shelby. One was an old GPS system, tucked deep in the engine. Before the tow truck hauled her away, I slipped a second tracker under the bumper. If Beverly or her mysterious Harold wanted to play games, fine, I'd play too. At 2 Mel. My phone buzzed. GPS ping. My Shelby was moving. Not from the city lot, but from some warehouse district outside town. I felt the floor drop out under me. If they could get my car out of secure storage, what chance did I stand? Maybe Beverly was right. Maybe Harold was untouchable. I sat at my kitchen table, staring at that blinking dot, and for a moment, I thought about walking away, selling my tools, shutting the garage, pretending none of this had ever happened. I whispered out loud, Dad, maybe I'm not cut out for this fight. That's when Emily, my younger sister, the practical one, studying law, called. She didn't even say hello. Just, Ethan, don't you dare give up. Beverly isn't just crazy, she's desperate. People don't fabricate sales documents and call cops on lies unless there's a much bigger game. Her words snapped me back. She was right. This wasn't just about one car. It was about people who thought they could erase my father's legacy and intimidate me into silence. So I dug deeper, and the deeper I went, the uglier it got. Beverly owed hundreds of thousands, tied to some company called International Auto Ventures specializing in overseas sales. My neighbor Marcus, a retired private investigator, showed up at my door with stories of Harold Green snooping around his vintage bikes. Then, magically, Beverly hit him with HOA violations. Emily pulled county records. Turns out Harold wasn't just a businessman. He was chairman of the city council. The picture came into focus. Harold researched valuable property. Beverly used HOA rules to pressure owners. And then mysterious sales, cheap liquidations. And suddenly, priceless cars and antiques disappeared overseas. And my Shelby. It was next in line. Act 2. Phew. The breaking point. The GPS showed movement again straight to the shipping district. My stomach twisted. It was happening right under my nose. That night, I sat in the garage, staring at Dad's old notes. For a minute, the fight drained out of me. What if I was wrong about him? About this car? About everything? Harold's voice, though I hadn't even met him yet, echoed in my head like poison. You don't know what your father really was. Emily found me hunched over the workbench, eyes burning. She slammed her hand on the table. Ethan, this isn't about metal and chrome. It's about Dad. He stood for something, and you're about to let Beverly rewrite that story. Are you really going to hand it to her? That lit the fire back in my chest. No, I wasn't handing over a damn thing. Act 3. Strike Back. At dawn, we were parked across from a warehouse called Westside Storage Solutions. Through a chain-link fence, we saw them rows of classic cars, motorcycles, even Mrs. Patterson's missing Steinway piano under a tarp. And in the corner, my Shelby. Marcus muttered, "This isn't just theft. It's an operation." Emily contacted Federal Enforcement Customs. If these cars were bound for overseas, it wasn't just local crime anymore. It was federal. We had one chance. Catch them red-handed, loading stolen property into shipping containers. So we waited. At 3, Beverly's BMW rolled up to the port, followed by a truck carrying my Shelby. She was in full command mode, barking orders, clipboard in hand, like a general. Workers began maneuvering the car lift toward a container stenciled BVLG 2024. My pulse hammered. This was it. Hold. Agent Taylor whispered through her radio. Not yet. We need them touching the container. The seconds stretched like hours. Beverly pointed, snapped her fingers. The car inched closer. Then, go, go, go. Floodlights ignited. Sirens cut the air. Federal agents, port security, and local police swarmed from every direction. Beverly froze, clipboard still in hand. One agent snatched it, read aloud the manifests. 8 vehicles, all stolen. Her mask cracked. The smug queen of the HOA crumbled on the concrete, sobbing. I didn't want this. Harold made me. He said he'd ruin me if I didn't. I just stood there, watching the woman who'd called 911 on me collapse like a puppet with cut strings. The fall of power. Inside the container, we found it all. Marcus's Harley, Jake's family pocket watches, Mrs. Patterson's piano, my Shelby, wrapped like cargo, stripped of meaning, and then Harold showed up, stepping from a black sedan like he was untouchable. But the moment Agent Taylor handed him a federal warrant, his shoulders sagged. The political armor didn't mean a thing now. As they cuffed him, he glanced at me, voice slick as oil. Your father wasn't the saint you think. He planned to blackmail me, same as I blackmailed others. The apple doesn't fall far. Ethan, his words hit me like a blade, but I saw through it. Manipulation, lies, the same tricks he'd used for decades. Agent Taylor cut in sharp. Mr. Green, anything else you say will be used against you. For once, Harold had no comeback. Closing the circle. When they wheeled my Shelby off the container, I didn't cheer, I didn't smile. I just ran my fingers over the hood, cold from the night air, and whispered, "We did it, Dad." I turned back to Beverly, kneeling in cuffs, mascara streaked like war paint. The same woman who'd called me a thief in front of my neighbors now stared at me with nothing but fear. In that moment, the fight was over. Justice had a face, and it was hers crushed, humiliated, powerless. Final reflection. Sometimes the battles we don't choose end up defining us the most. Beverly thought she could erase my father's legacy with a phone call. Harold thought his influence could bury the truth forever. But they forgot one thing. Ordinary people fight hardest when you try to take the last thing they love. And that fight, that stubborn refusal to back down, is why they lost. This is Ethan Miller's story, and if it shook you, remember this. On Unblocked Stories, the truth always finds a way through the noise.